Well, this election day, some of the most watched races have been dominated by the issue of abortion rights. In a new CBS News poll, a majority of Americans say abortion should be legal in all or most cases. Voters in Ohio will decide today if the right to abortion should be guaranteed in their state constitution. Our national correspondent, Jericka Duncan, is in Columbus, Ohio, with more on the state of things there. Good morning, Jericka.
Good morning to you, Anne-Marie. Well, first and foremost, you can see that the polls are clearly open. And if you pan over here, you'll notice people just checking in line, making sure they're at the right polling location before they come back this way, where behind me, you'll see people actually voting. This could be historic. You know, the State Board of Elections officials are saying they're expecting a higher than normal turnout. About 850,000 people voted early. And even this morning, we saw some long lines of people stretched out here at this rec center. So a very important issue when you talk to voters here in the state of Ohio. It is literally and figuratively the #1 issue that is driving people to the polls here this morning.
Whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, Issue 1 is just not right for Ohio.
The measure known as Issue 1 seeks to enshrine reproductive rights in the state's constitution. The proposal would only allow the state to ban abortion after viability, which doctors generally consider to be around 22 to 24 weeks, except for when it's necessary to protect the life and health of the mother. But Republican Governor Mike DeWine worries the word health could include the mental or emotional health of a mom.
Scholars tell us the definition of health is a very wide definition. It includes how many children she has. It might include her economic circumstances. It includes many, many things.
This is very personal health care. This should be up to the women and their families, not up to the government.
Abortion rights supporter Lauren Blavelt insists without the measure, women will suffer. She believes if Issue 1 fails, Ohio State Supreme Court would eventually reinstate a 6-week abortion ban, now on hold.
We have bills that we've seen come up time and time again at the Ohio State House that would ban contraception.
But they haven't passed.
They have not passed, but there was a time where the extreme abortion ban had not passed.
If a woman's right to an abortion is enshrined in Ohio's constitution, is there any going back?
Well, first we have to defeat Issue 1. I don't believe there's been one example of a constitutional amendment that has been put in by referendum, which is what this is, that has been then changed again by the people. So as a practical matter, this will end the debate or make it very difficult, at least, to change that.
And officials here are expecting about 60% of the ballots will be cast here in person today. But again, a very, very important issue. The nation really watching to see what happens here if, in fact, that amendment would pass, enshrining the right of a woman's right to an abortion. Anne-Marie?
And the thing about Ohio is that it's a bit of a Republican trifecta, as they call it. Republicans dominate the House and the Senate, state legislature there, and also Republican governor. But this is an issue that has really fired people up. And I wonder if Democrats are, in particular, watching closely what happens in Ohio when it comes to this.
Yeah, and you know what else I find interesting, Anne-Marie? When I was speaking to one of the groups that supports abortion, they said that they didn't want to politicize this and that they found even within their campaigning and talking to voters that there were independents, there were Republicans who sided with them, according to them, on this issue. And personally, you know, I spoke to some voters who said, listen, I like Mike DeWine. He's very practical, voted for him twice, but on this issue, I don't agree. So we're really going to have to see what the voters say at the end of the day. When we spoke to Governor DeWine, he did share with me that an internal poll found that the gap was not as wide as it was when this sort of started the conversations, as you know, about the threshold to make it a constitution. He said it's like 7%. So you know, that's his internal polling. Of course, there's a lot of polls out there, but the only one that really matters is the final poll. There's not really a poll, but the results of the election later tonight.
Yeah, and as I understand it, there's a whole lot of fundraising that has gone into this particular issue in Ohio. What other measure is on the ballot?
So marijuana is issue 2, and that's another big one. If you go back, though, 2015, this was something that was voted down by Ohio voters. In fact, about 64% said no. But of course, times have changed. This is also being campaigned as something that would help in terms of financially, tax incentives, more money for different projects. So we wait to see again what the voters say, but I can tell you my conversation with Governor Mike DeWine here in Ohio, he said he's worried about the effects when you look at some of the studies and the research in terms of accidents, children's ability to access marijuana, but we've seen 23 other states legalize recreational marijuana use and medical use.
Yeah,
so
but they have plenty
again,
of
it's another
examples.
wait and see, but in 2015, the voters here said no. We'll see what they say here in 2023.
Yeah, Jericka Duncan, thank you very much. So we're going to have full coverage Election Day as results start trickling in. First up, a special edition of America Decides at 5 p.m. Eastern, and then coverage continues at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can stream it all right here on CBS News.